some time has passed since the previous video on the realistic SCT-11 cassette deck. But since then, I have completed my setup in here with everything from the 1977 Radio Shack catalog. Everything on the front page of the catalog sold as a bundle, such as the realistic Nova30 headphones, this realistic SCT-11 cassette deck, the realistic STA-64 receiver. Oh yeah, and let's not forget the Nova 6 speakers. The only thing I did not get off the front page bundle was the turntable. This turntable is still from the 1977 catalog on page 32. I did not want the one on the front page because it's obviously a BSR changer. So this is what we got here. And I'll get into that shortly. Real brief, I'm not going to spend too much time on the realistic Nova30 headphones. The quality is meh. I mean, in order to listen to it, you have to have loudness on, and you got to take your bass and treble and crank it just to get decent sound out of it. It's really mid-range heavy. I didn't buy them with the intent of actually using them, but I bought it just to complete what I was doing here. But real quick, you know, it has 1/4-inch headphone jack, you know, your coiled cord, and they have rotary volume controls on each side. And they're basically like 2 3-inch speakers in there. I mean, when this is cranked all the way up, it does sound okay. And they did have some pretty deep bass come from this receiver, but otherwise, no, they're very mid-range heavy. But here's the box. Here, full fidelity stereo with comfort and privacy. Okay. Back is blank. But yeah, so this is what was featured on the front cover. Custom manufactured in Japan for Radio Shack. Okay, that's all I'm going to demonstrate about the headphones. They work fine otherwise. Here's the turntable. So, pretty standard looking for a late 70s unit, 1977. Tinted. I managed to get one with a dust cover. Buffed it very heavily with Novas 3, 2, and 1. Really, Novas 3 and 2, and 1 just as the final step. But got most of the scratches out. There are some deep ones I couldn't get out, but for the most part it looks okay. But when you open it up, one thing you'll notice very quickly by the controls, yes, it is a BSR. Dun, dun, dun. But, and there's a but, it's not quite what you think. Definitely nothing high-end, but it does have some redeeming qualities to bring it into an acceptable category. So, for starters, it is belt drive. It is not directly driven. It's basically a changer mechanism without the changer. All the parts are there, but, you know, all the parts up to the changer part are there, just removed. So, we'll go over this real quickly here. So, it's only 2 speeds. 33, 45, stop, play, and cycle, so it can automatically start. It's an actual rubber mat, thick one, but the platter is very heavy and thick, so that's good. It is indeed belt drive, as seen right there. And if you come around, you can see the this actually has a nylon cam gear, but it's the same exact thing as the metal ones. That would be in a typical BSR changer. But, you know, some of the giveaways, you know, it has these transit screws right here. But it does have a 1/2-inch cartridge mount. And I did end up replacing the original cartridge it came with. It was an ADC. It was still intact when I got it, except the stylus was missing. It was completely ripped out. I replaced it with an Audio-Technica ATN 95E, the de facto standard, I guess, for that. And it works out perfectly for this unit. Now, there's only one other turntable they offered above this. It was the LAB100, semi-automatic turntable. No auto start, but it did have auto stop, like auto return on the arm. That one at the time was not on eBay, and the ones that were on eBay, I guess I should rephrase that. There were some on eBay, but they were beat up, missing parts, and didn't have any dust covers. I had to have a dust cover. And naturally, once I get this, a month or two later, one shows up on eBay with everything intact. But oh well. So I got the one right underneath, the LAB100. So what is it really underneath? Well, it's the BSR C163. I happened to find the service manual for it on eBay for cheap, and I got it just because. So it does have a slight S-shaped tone arm. I do have protractors and everything. Everything lines up just as it's supposed to. The azimuth is non-adjustable on this, but I did have to add a washer on the one side to get it perfect. So coming over here, this right here is glue I can't get off. A little brush there to clean the stylus. However, judging by the position of it, it's like nowhere even near it. So I question whoever put that in there 40, 50 years ago. And size selection for the record. It does have dampened cueing, which, bring it on, feline. Does have dampened cueing. I have the cover on the stylus, so don't worry, but it goes down nice and slow. Had to buy the viscous fluid. Actually got it off Turntable Needles for that because I couldn't find the right viscosity. There's a little cylinder in the back right here, or a hole is. You have to, basically there's a screw hole right here. You got to take that out and then put the fluid in there, then stick it back in and tighten that screw. And the piston should move in and out slowly from there out. Now, it does have a proper counterweight and your tracking force and your anti-skating. Some things I need to go over with this. If you get one of these and your counterweight is like way off, like instead of it being roughly in the center, it's like way down here, and this isn't even reading right anymore, you can pull this off. And there's a set screw in there where you could set the spring in there correctly. I had to do that, and now I have that roughly in the center, and it's tracking. I'm having it track at 2 grams perfectly. Now, anti-skating is another story. I was fighting this for like a month, trying to find the problem. I kept having skipping problems, even with the anti-skating all the way off. Had to do with the little eyelet that the spring hook goes through. What is going on? Had to do with the eyelet the little hook goes through for the anti-skating spring. I had to very gently bend it to get it right, because what was happening was, even with no anti-skating on and the tracking force at 0, I take it out to here and it still want to swing back. And I thought I didn't do anything before to bend it or anything. So when I did that, I did it so I can swing this all the way out to here before it starts to catch. And then it seems to work. But there's a but on that. It is very touchy. As you see, I only have it on 1. Usually rule of thumb is you put on the same number as your tracking force. But I need a proper test record so I could test this. I think I got the anti-skating right where it needs to be anyways. We'll find out then. So it is, like I said, it's a BSR changer without the changer. There are plenty of videos out there on how to service these. Jordan Pierre has an excellent one out there to reference, so here's a link in the upper right. But I did something one step differently, or probably a few steps differently. I ended up taking the entire changer mechanism out. This is partially disassembling some pieces, and I ran the whole thing through the ultrasonic for about 30 minutes with simple green, took it out and scrubbed it with a nylon brush gently and removed all oil and grease off of it. Then I let it dry. And then after thoroughly drying, relubricated everything, just used judgment. Any points that are friction points, pivot points that make contact. And that really did the trick. And then for this part, I had to give you a little tip here. That actuating slide with the ball bearing, I found do not put any grease on that. In fact, clean it with alcohol and make it clean. That actuating slide is a very, very lightweight piece of aluminum, and that makes contact with your tone arm while playing. And if you add grease to it, it actually adds some resistance to it, ever so slightly, and you'll feel it in your tone arm. That's not good. So just leave it dry, clean it with alcohol, and as you can see right there, you won't feel a thing with the tone arm then, and that's good. And that's all that does is it slides forward to trip the pieces on the cam gear to activate the end of cycle. As for speed, unfortunately it still suffers some of the BSR speed issues. LPs are okay. It's slightly too fast, but not really noticeable. But 45s, it's noticeably faster. I could probably try sanding down the pulley on there, but I actually don't want to try that. It has a crown on there, and I got to be real careful. I haven't done anything like that. It has a 4-pole synchronous motor, so that's good. So, for demonstration, copyright police and all, I'm going to try to pick some stuff. I take an album from 1979 through 1980 with Graham Goldman of 10cc. And some of you might know where I'm going with this. But this. Now, quite a few of you may own this, but I also have something else that I didn't even know existed. I found the 45. Not my favorite song on there, but it has both monaural and stereo versions. Could demonstrate that. And I can probably demonstrate something that won't flag the copyright police probably, this is probably 10 years later, but here's another extremely rare album. Evergreen Nights, the Raccoons. And I'll probably play one modern record. I don't really listen to modern music much. Most of my collection is from 50s through 80s. But I have a couple things, and we'll call this video done. So first thing we can do is turn the power on the Realistic. We'll put it into phono mode. And I guess we could start with the 45 here. got some Elton John on here. It is not dampened with the automatic mechanism. It just goes down however fast the mechanism is. Being it's on 45, it's always going to lower faster. Nothing I can do with that. But the cueing lever, like I said, I can easily lift up and let it go back down like that. Okay, changing 33, change it to 12-inch. And let's see if I can cue this correctly. Yeah, a little off, but you may have heard this song numerous times in my videos over the last, coming up on 20 years, I guess. I just played on the 45, but now the stereo version. So now let's try something. Let's just say some very old school fans of this channel may remember. So let me get over to it. I'm trying to do this and that down. Yes. Can't play Kick Mambo now. So here's a record that is 10 years newer than the unit. So
if you were to look in my heart, you'd find a record player that tears records apart.
I don't think so.
If you were to look in my mind, you'd find a tape cassette that you can never rewind. Oh, this summer never ends. Is there nothing around us except for our friends? Oh, this winter lasts so long, but if it brings us together, how can it be wrong? And all this time we thought we had seems to flow like a river that winds so much that we followed it out until we were lost. But the river doesn't stop.
So sample of that. Put that back down and I'll manually stop it. Yay. Now this will be a relatively short-ish video, but I just wanted to show I got the my complete 1977 Radio Shack Realistic setup in here now. And the other thing is this cover doesn't have hinges on it. It's one of those ones you lift off completely. But there it is. The Realistic LAB100 turntable. Thanks for watching.